अंदर होता है अपना यूनिकास्ट राउटिंग वगैरह, वही वाला।
सो आपका लेयर 3 आउट है विच इज कनेक्टिंग टू द एक्सटर्नल, राइट?
यस।
सो एक्सटर्नल राउटर पे ACI के राउट्स नहीं मिल रहे हैं।
हाँ जी।
L3 आउट ट्रेवल शूट करोगे ना, L3 आउट का एक्सटर्नल EPG क्या चल रहा है उधर पास, क्या पॉलिसी अप्लाई किए हो।
ओके।
प्लस ब्रिज डोमेन अगर देख रहे हो तो मेक श्योर दैट ब्रिज डोमेन के साथ एसोसिएशन कैसा है, प्लस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कैसा है बिटवीन L3 आउट एंड द EPG, चेक करना पड़ेगा।
मतलब ये प्रॉक्सी स्पाइन और हार्डवेयर स्पाइन का क्या कंसेप्ट रहता है ऐसे नॉर्मल सा?
प्रोक्सी स्पाइन का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ नया स्पेशल का। जैसे हमारे पास होता था ना VXLAN में, हम पढ़े हैं कि रेंडमस पॉइंट होता है, राइट ना? जो
हम्म।
रेंडमस पॉइंट डेटाबेस मेंटेन करता है बिहाफ ऑफ ऑल द लीफ स्विचेस, ठीक? क्योंकि फ्लडिंग
ठीक
उसको नहीं करना होता। सेम काम है स्पाइन के हार्डवेयर प्रोक्सी का, उसको बोलते हैं कूप डेटाबेस,
है।
ठीक है ना? वो मेंटेन करता है ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ ऑल द लीफ स्विचेस, वो ग्लोबल डेटाबेस मेंटेन करता है। अगर कोई भी अननोन रिक्वेस्ट आया तो फ्लड ना करके बोलता है कि मैं खुद रिप्लाई दे देता हूँ, फिर मैं रिवर्स आर्प करूंगा, उसे बोलते हैं रिवर्स आर्प फ्रॉम द स्पाइन, और आर्प क्लीनिंग भी बोलते हैं उसको। डिस्कस दैट क्या होता है आज। ये VX उसका NDFC का लास्ट क्लास है, विल स्ट्रेच फॉर 2 आवर्स।
ओके सर।
ऑलराइट, सो लेट्स वेट फॉर अ मिनट। सो आज अपन करेंगे NDFC विद द VXLAN। ओके, लास्ट टाइम हमने क्या किया था? लास्ट टाइम हमने लेगेसी VXLAN कॉन्सेप्ट चलाया था, वेयर वी डिड सम बेसिक सेटअप, राइट? बेसिक BPC क्रिएशन, पोर्ट चैनल एक्सेस पोर्ट बनाना, VLAN बनाना, ऑल दिस थिंग्स। आज हम क्या करेंगे, हमारे पास दो साइट्स, वी हैव टू साइट्स, ओके? दिस इज द इंग्लिश क्लास, राइट? या so we have a green field and we have brown field. Okay, so in the green field, just give me a second. Why this screen is keep blurring out? Okay, I have two sides. Okay, green field and brown field. Brown field means we already have the configuration on the brown field. Green field means we do not have any configuration on the green field. And our task is we're gonna have a VXLAN, multi-site VXLAN. Okay, VXLAN in a green field we are going to run. VXLAN we already have in the brown field. Okay, we have a ISAN, which is inter-site network router, which is you can say the core router, which is my dedicated interface. Can be MPLS, can be your traditional, DWD and dark fiber, anything. We have border gateway router on the both the sides, which is providing the extension to the your spine switches between the data center. Okay, so this is the our target is to create the two fabric number 1, fabric number 2. Fabric number 1, we're gonna create the new data center with the leaf and spine VXLAN BPC between these leaf switches, right? Access port on for these switches. Then we're gonna have border leaf router, uh, border leaf switches where we're gonna have external connectivity for internet. Okay, same thing we're gonna have here, but this is pretty much straightforward. We have one leaf, one spine, one server, and we are running the networking over here, right? So hey guys, just to brief you about what we are going to do here is today with the NDFC. We are going to have a VXLAN multi-site setup. Okay, we have a greenfield site where we are going to set up the VXLAN EVPN, and we have a brown field where we have one leaf, one spine, one server, and we have border gateway, which is already been configured. So we will import this site into the NDFC, and we will create new site for the greenfield VXLAN. Okay. Also today we're going to take a look how we're going to establish the connectivity from the fabric to the external internet. And we have border gateway router, and these routers will be providing the extension for the VXLAN. Okay. So let's take a look. Okay. Is there any doubt from the last class? If you guys have any, please let me know that. Okay, so without wasting much time on this, just give me a second. Just give me a second. I'm just doing something. All right, so we have NDFC here. Okay, so let's log in to the NDFC. Says no, C1 SCO 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. So here, what we are going to do here is we are going to take a look greenfield switches and the brownfield switches. Okay. So I have this greenfield setup where we have a 2 spine switches, 2 leaf, 1 border gateway, and 1 border leaf switch here. Okay. We have brownfield where we have leaf and spine. If I open the brownfield leaf switch here, okay, if I see the VLAN is created, even VXLAN is created. So run VXLAN. Sorry. So run, if I say here we have all the VXLAN configuration. See here. Okay. Where we have all the EVPN running, and we have this as a layer 3 VNI 59,000. We have distribution is also running, which is good. We have this SVI. SVI name is 2999. Okay, for layer 3 SVI, and this is your NV interface where we have 49,000 NV interface associated to it, and we are doing the host reachability via the BGP. Okay, so this is the simple VXLAN EVPN is running with the routing part. We have here layer 2, the distribution, route map, all these things are running, which is okay. Okay, we have OSPF. For the underlay connectivity, we have L2 VPN. We have layer 2 VNIs, right? So pretty much straightforward. Don't see any extra thing which is running over here. We have Anycast gateway. If you see that on the leaf switch here, so we have a we are using the multicast for the layer 2 bump traffic. This is the SVI we are going to use, our red VRF we have. And if I open the brownfield spine switch here, okay, if I say that so run on the spine switch, we have a similar, we have RP, randomized point, sorry. We have randomized point over here. We have Anycast RP, which is running here. It's pretty much same for the EVPN. We do not have VXLAN, but EVPN and multicast, everything is running over here. Okay. Now, if I open the green field, okay, on the green field, which is this one, this side. Okay, this was the side, these are all the things. If I open this side and log in leaf and spine switches, and let's see if we have anything running on these boxes. So IP interface brief. So IP interface brief. You will see that there are a couple of interfaces, especially underlay, which is running fine. So what we're going to do here is, while doing the configuration, we will remove the configuration. Here is also VXLAN is running. Okay. You will see that VXLAN is also running in this greenfield site also. Okay. Which is, it's not an issue. What we're going to do here is, we're going to create the new fabric. Yeah, and we're going to yeah, let's do the configuration. We will not preserve the configuration. Okay, we will deploy. So on the green field, which you have VXLAN running already, we will not preserve, rather we will delete the configuration and push the VXLAN from the NDFC, and from the green on the brown field, we will just import this configuration. Okay, so we will have both scenario over here. VXLAN configuration from NDFC, plus if you have existing data center, we will import that VXLAN into the other scenario. All right. So if I open the spine switch here, this must be also running that some sort of randomized point, all this, right? Same configuration, whatever we have learned in the VXLAN EVPN, nothing special over here, right? So what we're gonna do here is, let's log into the NDFC and go to the console of Fabric. And what we're gonna do here is, we're gonna create the Fabric, okay? So close this. As of now, we do not have anything. So if I go to the Fabric, okay, then I will create that Fabric, and we will name this as a greenfield. We will say that site 1 greenfield, right? Then I'm going to select the data center VXLAN EVPN. Okay, this is very important. So you have to select that with, if you are running the VXLAN with the 𝗃𝗏 switches, you have to select the EVPN with the campus EVPN, because NDFC nowadays also supports that iOS XE devices. So you can run the VXLAN on the 𝗃𝗏 9000, not on the 3008 switches, because these switches does not support that XE image, right? They support the iOS. So there are a couple of multi-site. If you see the multi-site option, we will select that later. But what we are going to do here is, we are going to use the data center VXLAN, where we have a Nexus 9000 over here. If I select this, so all maximum templates will be already visible over here. Okay. So if I show you this, what AS number I'm going to select that. For example, for entire data center 1, I'm going to use AS number 6511. 6511. Okay. Then I'm going to that all the interfaces will be using the point-to-point numbering. Do you know the concept of numbering command? Numbering and unnumbering. There is two type of detail. Unnumbering means you have a physical interface which will utilize your loopback address to use the IP as a physical IP address. Okay, this command by default runs Cisco ACI Nexus devices, but here I'm not going to have. I'm going to say that each interface will have their own IP address. I'm not going to utilize any loopback address as a like proxy for the physical interface. Okay, then I will say that the /31, I'm going to select that network mask. Right, then I'm going to say that Anycast gateway MAC address. See that Anycast gateway MAC address, I'm going to keep it as it is. We do not need to change anything on this. Right, now if I check here replication, in the replication I have multicast. I'm not going to change anything. I'm just keeping the same as it is. Then I'm going to say that, do we have anything? Randomized point 2, because I have 2 spine switches. All right. And if I go to the randomized point loopback address 251, for example, this is the loopback ID. You can give anything. All right. It has nothing to do with anything. Now, if I go to the greenfield deployment, I should be enabling the greenfield deployment as well over here. All right. If I go to the advanced and say that VRF template, I'm going to use the default template whichever is provided by the NDFC. Not going to change anything. Overlay mode is fine. We are not going to change anything.
Right. This VXLAN lab is the same as the first, or it is something different on the from the topology point of view?
Same.
Okay.
I'm going to say that greenfield deployment. I will say that greenfield deployment enable. Okay, few settings are default over here, so do not try to override everything over here. See that enable the HTTPS API and NX API, HTTPS port, HTTP port. Just keep that default. Okay, do not change anything. Enable the VXLAN OEM, which is fine, which is your perfect for troubleshooting stuff. These are the unset the host interface when you deploy anything. Always keep the 9200 MTU size for entire fabric, and this is your site ID. I mean AS number. When you have a layer 3 without VLAN configuration, okay, always create that. If you say that config profile and CLI mode, a CLI mode will be far better than the config profile, because config profile sometimes creates a lot of issues for you. Okay. This is one. Then I will say that resources, in the resource, I will say that, so by default, if you see that these are the ranges for the underlay networking, for the tab configuration, for the your what we call that, for your randomest point configuration. So by default, whatever it is keeping, because in production environment you keep that different IP address. As of now, I'm going to use this range for entire your leaf and spine underlay routing, interface, physical interface, loopback creation, everything. For tab loopback creation, use this range. For randomest point creation, use this range. From this one, use the /32. For underlay subnetting, if you see that assign going to be for the peer link SBI creation, it will be from here. Okay, so you can define here default and let the let the NDFC do the all kind of subnetting for you. That's option one. That's a pretty much a good option to have that. But if you want to have manually also you can change it. For example, what VXLAN ID you want to use for the layer 2 and layer 3. So you can change, you can select that here. But for now, I'm going to use the default one, right? But if you want, you can do it.
One question here, sir. So like when we ask NDFC to go from VN ID 30,000 to 49,000, it will pick any, correct?
Any, yes. It will map. So from this VLAN range, whatever you are using, it will map with this VXLAN ID.
Yes. So right now we are creating the fabric, like overall network cover, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So like when we do the audit, it will be complicated, or like is there any point where we can see like what VLAN is mapped to what?
Obviously, you can see that. Yeah, obviously you can see that after
like
deployment.
Without running the command or like
yes, during the deployment, you might see that preview option. In the preview option, I doubt from here. No, I will doubt, because we are not creating anything for now. Okay, because this is the default value. I'm just saying that if at all I want to create any VXLAN in the lab, make sure that you use this value. You have this available pool. You can use like just like DSCP pool, right? You manually define that. Then you pick from the, even if you want manually IP address, or you want to stick with the one IP address, you can manually override it, right? By default, from this range, it will automatically give that. For here, by default, I'm not configuring anything, just creating the pool of the VLAN and VXLAN, right? Once we have a pool, during the creation, you can pick that VLAN ID and VXLAN will be automatically mapped. However, during the deployment, for example, you create VLAN 2200, right?
Yes.
The moment you will deploy that, NDFC will give you the preview option where you can see that what configuration it is pushing to the switches.
Yes.
Okay. And for now,
Vijay, what is the VRA-VLAN range? One is layer 2. One is
just like a layer 2. Nothing is VRF VLAN. This is your layer 3 VLAN. Okay. Layer 3 VLAN in the sense SVI, when you create that. So this one and this one, I don't see any difference. This will be more of overlay kind of VXLAN, and this will be the locally VLAN availability. So if you see that this range, is this range is under the below this range. Okay. So they are more or less same. Okay. You want to keep that entire switch for this one, and this is for the VXLAN configuration. Okay, and this is for entire switch configuration.
Okay.
Right. So I don't see too much difference on that. You can keep the same also. As of now, since this is a predefined lab, I don't want to change anything, but you can change it based on your requirement. For example, layer 3 VLAN, we selected 999, right? But here we are giving that since we are going to have a multi-tenancy, it means multiple VRF. Let that NDFC choose that the VLAN ID, layer 3 VLAN ID. You can define it one VLAN ID, two VLAN ID manually. It's up to you. Second is option VRF light deployment. This is very important. When you have an inter-fabric deployment option, if you have a back-to-back external connectivity, for example, you want to do with it, right? Make sure that VRF light is very important. If you do not have VRF light, you will have a lot of issues during the regular VRF with the VXLAN. If you have more than one VRF, usually we name it as a VRF light only. Okay. If you see the auto deployed peer, select that. So the moment you will select that, this as a VRF light on that. So whatever you're creating on the one switch, it will automatically synchronize with the other switches. Okay. When you have a BPC and non-BPC scenario. This is the VRF light range, which is also okay for the point-to-point interface. And these are the just SLAs, tracker, all these. If you want to have a like route map creation, this is the range of the sequence number you can create it. Okay, you can manipulate it. So as I said, it gives you the option before you push any configuration, but it's better to stick with the default values for few things, not for everything. You just make sure that IP management, which was very hectic task for any engineers, now it is being auto deployed. Okay, you just give the range /22/32, it will automatically pick and distribute it. If you see the VPC peer default, this is the range. So when you try to create any VPC peer or VPC configuration, so I'm saying that the port channel ID which we're going to use between the peer 3600, make sure that peer keep live, use the management interface. Okay, you can use a loopback interface also. You can say that this is the default some value port channel between the switches will be the 500 peer 1 peer 2. Okay, this is the VLAN between the switches. And yeah, I mean, if you see that advertise pip here command, this is for the VXLAN. PPC advertise pip command on the border only.
We are actually doing this on the BGP configuration, right?
Exactly. So during the BPC configuration, when we run the BPC with the VXLAN, this command is important, right? So that's the reason selecting this one is always the better option. This is the domain range. You can change it. Okay, I will save this for now. Okay, so once it is saved, I will okay. Right, if I double click on this, what I'm going here, this is the VXLAN fabric, this is the name. You see that nothing is configured as of now. Okay, if we'll say VRF, nothing is been configured over here, right? This is a pretty much a blank template of fabric we created. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see the switches. I want to add the switch. So I have the seed switch name, okay, and details. I can use this access switch for the seed switch here. So what I can go do here is I can say that, okay, I have 198.18.4.101 leaf 1. Okay, I will say admin 5 is fine. Username is admin. Password is C1SCO12345 ! This one. Okay. I will say the uncheck preserve configurations. It means I want to delete this configuration, existing VXLAN configuration, and we will deploy our new fresh configuration. Okay, then I will say that discover. So all the leaf and spine, whatever you have, including the border, everything should show over here. Right? We have all the devices over here, and they all will have preserve configuration disabled over here. Okay. What I will do here is I will set the role for each devices. For the border gateway, I will no. Just give.
This border gateway is for DCI. Why are you using border gateway?
This is for the intersite.
Yeah, means the data country interconnect.
Yeah, DCI. Yeah, that's right. Border gateway. And we're gonna use a border leaf for the external internet connectivity.
Okay, so Vijay, this is different topology. I mean, so when you open in 𝗃𝗏𝗏, it is something different lab you are doing, or just
I am doing the almost same lab. Okay, but the shift has this topology was here and this topology was here. Okay, so almost same, but different. This is the VXLAN lab. Okay,
yeah,
that
means
was
when you are selecting this lab, this is something different, right? The previous one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a multi-site. Yep, for sure.
Okay.
Right, because each, though innerly is same, but yeah, the name is a different lab. Yes. So what I'm going to do here is accept the externals router. Okay, I will select each and everything to add, except the external router. I will say that select add the switches. Right. All right. What I can do here is let's wait for a progress. Once complete, I can assign the role of each devices over here. Close lab. Here we go. So if I go to the border gateway, I will say this as a set role. Now it is taking time. It's in the migration mode. Everything is leaf. All the leaf switches are there. Let's see. Come on. This switch is a, all right, set as a border. Okay, I don't have border spine switch here, but I will see the border gateway. Okay, BG. I will select this. Then I have a two spine switches here. These are the spine switch. I will set a role as the spine switches. All right, and the three of them, one of the border leaf switch, two of them are just compute leaf. I'm going to keep as just leaf switches here. Then I will say that action, recalculate and deploy. What is in the switch import is not yet completed. Please wait. All right. Let's wait for a few minutes, please. Still in migration mode. After this, what I'm going to do here is, so once you push the configuration, VPC and VXLAN should be running between here, and the underlay, overlay, everything should be started running over here. Okay, we will verify once we push that. Also, once we push that, we will make these interfaces as a host interface 1/5, which is connecting to the server. So let's see. Hmm. Top of the rack, perfect. So it is deploying now. So see here what configuration we are going to push here. Okay, on the spine switch here. So these are the configuration. Okay, we are going to push. Look here, we have SNMP, the BGP number which we gave, that is configuring route reflector, IP address, everything is been configured, taken care of. L2 VPN, we have loopback address from the range. This is for the underlay connectivity. This is the interface /31. Okay, and if you see that this is the leaf, perfect. This is the left side is the current configuration which we have not preserved, and right side expected configuration is this one. Let's see that leaf switch here, and the leaf switch, if I say that bit more configuration because of the VXLAN. Yep. See that this command, which is default MAC address, which is taken. This range is default. This is BGP. Fine. If I check that OSP of loopback address, which is fine. Interface towards the spine switches here. If I see that configuration, all right, this is the configuration we're gonna have. We do not have anything, which is unique over here. So you see the VXLAN feature is enabled, but if you see that VXLAN is not been configured as of now. Okay, we will see that VXLAN VNID and everything later. This is just underlay and overlay setup. Nothing else. VXLAN, EVPN, OSPF, everything. And if I check that border gateway, what we have on the configuration on the border gateway, we have same feature, and this is the AS server. Okay, we're gonna have BGP, which is fine. NB interface source reachability BGP, which is fine. We will extend this command. Right. So everything is set up. I will say deploy all. So before deploying anything, you can preview it, configuration preview. You can do that.
But we cannot edit, right?
No, you cannot edit it. If you want to edit it, you can go back and again edit the template.
Okay.
Okay. Once configuration is done, you can edit it, but certain configuration is default when you push that bootstrap. This is the part of the bootstrap template. Okay. This is the by default, all the features must be enabled. If you want to do it after the setup bootstrap, obviously you can do it. But during the bootstrap configuration, certain things you cannot avoid it. Right.
Okay.
So
do we have VPC here?
Yes, we're gonna have VPC between the here. As of now, we have not done it. Okay.
Okay.
Between leaf switch 1, leaf switch 2, we're gonna have VPC. We will configure it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Configuration is almost done. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to configure the access port where on the leaf switch 1 and leaf switch 2. Which port going to be? This port 1/5, server 1, server 2, on both the switches. Okay. So I'm going to, this is done almost. I will close this. Now I will go to the interface. Okay, I will say that this is all the configuration is being pushed. Okay, I will say the 1/5 of the switch 1. Come on. Here you can filter it out also. Here interface equivalent to Ethernet 1/5 enter. So all the switch interface which belong to 1/5 should be showing over here. Look here. So I will select that switch leave switch 1, leave switch 2. Okay. I don't want to have spine switches. I will say edit. Then I will say that this template which is using default one is wrong. I want to say that interface as a access port. As a access port, switch port mode access, not trunk. And this is DPDU guard is enabled, which is fine. CDP is enabled. VPC interface, no. Interface is enabled. Yeah. So pretty much then. Then I'm going to do here is I'm going to create the VPC. You can deploy this also if you want. What here also? This is a switch 2. I will deploy this. Preview the configuration if you want. What configuration it is pushing? It must be 3-4 line configuration, right? 4 line, 5 line. Running configuration is this one. Okay. As of now, we have not allowed anything. An expected configuration will be here. We are not allowing anything, but we are saying the switch port mode access. We will later allow on any interfaces on this, right? I will say that save, deploy. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create the VPC between the switch, leave switch 1, leave switch 2. Close this. Okay. Then let's verify that, make sure that the interfaces which we deployed are access port now. Device name equivalent to the L1. I will say interface Ethernet 1/5 capital, not sure. Yeah, both are access now. All right. Speed is also fine. Double click on this. And if I go to the switches here, if I say the leave switch 1, okay, want to pair VPC pairing with the leave switch 2. Okay. Let's say that shape. Since the default value already defined in a bootstrap, so all the configuration, like for which interface we're going to use, all this configuration will be automatically detected. For example, leave 1, leave 2. So based on the CDP LLDP, this port which is connecting will be automatically detected between them. Okay. And the domain name, everything will be automatically configured because that range, a pool is already defined during the bootstrap configuration, right? I will say that calculate and deploy. All right. So what configuration we are going to have? Let's see. So we're going to have domain 1. Okay, and this is the management interface of the between the switches. This is the peer link, 500 port channel. These are the between the switches. See here, automatically detected. Loopback secondary interface. Secondary IP is already added. Did we specify? Answer is no. Why it is added? Because the pip command is already enabled under it. Okay. Also, this is the VXLAN template. The moment we will see the VXLAN template, it will automatically create it. And see that layer 3 the SVI is all also getting created, because during the bootstrap we did specify to create 3600 as a SVI interface between them for the peer keep live. Right? Deploy. Let's see, it should be deployed. So VPC must be running over here. Then after this, what I'm going to do here is we are going to have symmetric VXLAN. Okay, and we're gonna have a VRF created. Then we're gonna have interfaces, SVI, layer 2 VLAN, layer 3 VLAN, all the things we will map it over here. Okay, so this is done. What I'm going to do here is let's create the VRF for the layer 3 VNI, because without layer 3 VNI, without the VRF, you cannot have a layer 3 VNI, right? I will go to the network. I will say the action create. Then I will say that what configuration you want to see that. I will say that blue VRF. The VRF ID you can select based on the your convenient. And I don't want to have a layer 2 stage. VRF name. Sorry, my mistake. I was creating the layer 2 network. It should be VRF now. VRF over here. I will say that blue VRF. I will say that just 50,000, which is by default is coming. I don't want to, do anything. VLAN ID, do you want manually? I will say the proposed VLAN. How the proposed VLAN is coming? It is coming from the range and pool during the bootstrap we given, right? 2000 to 2200 something. From there it is coming. VRF template, if you want to, you can define that. If you don't want to, that's up to you, how you want to define that, right? VLAN name, I will say that for this SVI, VRF blue. Interface, VRF, blue VRF, and description also blue VRF. Make sure that naming and parameters, what you create must be same, should not have any issues. So you see here, this is the detail of the layer 2 and layer 3 interface which you want to create. See here, static route, advertise, everything is selected by default. It's always best to keep that default few parameters. Okay, I will say the routing target RDRT, let it create it default. Don't want to have manually for each things. Right, then I will give the network. Then I will create one network for the blue VRF. Okay, I will say that blue net 1. Okay, blue VRF, which is good. 30,000, which is also fine. I don't want to have anything. Propose layer 2 VLAN. This is the, if I click that, 2300, which is also fine. Don't have any issue with it. What VLAN, what IP address you want to give for this VLAN? I want to say that 192.168.11.1/24. Okay. If you want to keep the blue name, blue net, blue net 1, blue net 1. Okay, this is the detail. Apart from this, we will not touch anything which says that we need to do anything. No. VLAN number 1 created. VLAN number 2 I will create SVI, and I will say that blue net 2. Then I will say that which is same 30,001, proposed VLAN 23, which is good. I will select this name 192.168.12.1/24. Okay, blue net 2, blue net BlueNet 2, right? I will say that create it. Done. Then what we can do here is we can attach these interfaces to these VLAN, right? That is something very important, because without attachment, we are not going to have anything else over here. Okay, so BlueNet VRF1, what I can do here is, if I say that edit, can I attach it? Net? No, wait, I did wrong. I will double click on this. I have the network attachment. On the network attachment, I can see that leaf switch 1. Okay, I will say edit. Which interface? This interface. Why? No, it should be getting that option. Okay, attach file, leaf switch 1. Okay, save this. Second one, I will attach into the leaf switch 2. Attachment, leaf switch 2. I think I did wrong. Just give me a second. And then yeah, so what I have done here is I have done 2300. Okay, done. So BlueNet 1 is deployed. If I go to the BlueNet 2, and BlueNet 2 must be deployed on the leaf switch 2. Is it? Just give me a second. I'm just trying to understand. Yeah, so if I go to the BlueNet 2, leaf switch 2, edit, attach, just 5. Yeah, switch port mode access is done. Right. If I say that calculate and deploy, let's see what configuration we are pushing. Okay. And they will log in the switches because we did not created any VLAN or VXLAN. Okay. So this is the configuration on the switch 1. So see here. So we are creating layer 2 VLAN, mapping the 50,000. We are of layer 3 VNI, which is fine. Which is also fine. SBI 2000, which is a layer 3 SBI. Okay. And the BGP and the BGP, we have advertised this one, distribute route map, fabric, which is fine. So we have a layer 3 VNI over here and layer 2 VNIs. Okay, 30,001, 30,000, and these are the layer 2 VNIs. On the layer 2 VNIs, we have a SBI created over here, which we created. Okay, and we have on the interface, we have layer 2 EVPN, plus on the interface, we are saying that switch port mode access VLAN 2300. Okay, same thing on both the switches. So let's deploy this. Then we will verify the configuration. All right. So what I'm going to do here is, this is the topology I have. I will check that BGP EVPN neighborship between leaf and spine. Plus on these, you'll see that it should be able to at least make the communication, okay, from here to here, gateway at least from server. All right, so let's go to the switch here. I know this is a bit, losing the configuration, but we have to understand, we have to do a lot of practice for this NDFC, because without NDFC, you will not have a proper understanding. See that we have a neighborship, and these all the neighborship from the spine is from where? One bit here, 1, 2, 3. So total 4 neighborship. Okay, we have 4 neighborship over here. If I go to the BGP neighborship, how many? It should have a 4 neighborship. So IP BGP summary. Sorry, so BGP L2 VPN EVPN summary. We have a 4 neighborship. And if we see that currently type, how many types of type 5 route is also visible here, because we are redistributing few routes to external network. When I said external network, it is going towards the BG router. Okay, because route map policy is there on this. Which is the without route, without summary route. Look here, type 5 routes, because we are redistributing from your SBI route into the BG, our border gateway router. And that's where the moment you say redistribution, you will have this issue, type 5 route and type 2 route also for the same. Okay. Now, if I check the VPC on the switches, do I have a VPC configured? Obviously, I should have. Show VPC. Right? We have VPC with these VLANs, everything is alive. This is the secondary switch without any issue. If I check that, so NVE 1. So NVE VNI, what VNI it is mapped? Look here, this is a layer 3 and with blue VRF, this is a layer 2. Okay, now if I open the server 1, which is connected to the leaf switch 1, I should be able to ping the server 2 IP address from server 1. Okay, if config server 1 IP was this one, 11.1. 2300, okay, and I will try to ping 12.22, which is server 2. If I try to ping dot 192.168.11.1, I think that was the gateway, right? Yeah, so gateway is able to ping, which is my sleep switch 1. If you see that, if I show the picture from here, I'm able to ping here, but from here I want to ping here by LVPC. Okay, and if I try to ping, sorry, ping 12.22, which is server 2. I should be able to ping. Yeah. If I say that IP, so IP. How to check ARP in the Linux? Show ARP. Anyways, I can check on the leaf switches here how ARP table looks like. Okay, so MAC address table. So see here, this is locally, it is via peer link. And also if I check here, so L2 route, I will say that EVPN, MAC and IP. I will say that all, right? So this is the your local routing, which is landing in the EVPN. Okay. Now this is the one thing of it, greenfield. Okay, let's see the topology, how the topology looking on the greenfield. It was straightforward. You just need to make sure that what exactly need to be done, because most of the underlay configuration during the control plane EVPN, we have done a lot of configuration, right? We tried at least 300, 400 line command manually. Here, most of the configuration template is already created for you. Underlay done during the bootstrap, BGP, OSPF, multicast, everything is created. We do not have to do anything. If I show this multicast, how the multicast is created. So if I on the spine switch here, okay, and if I say that so run PIM, sorry, so run PIM. See here, everything is created. So IP M route. Look here. So all excuse me, this is the tap address of the switch. So everything is created for you. Nothing, no need to worry about anything. Unlike that, the local one. But is still, if you want to understand how these things are working, what is the meaning of each command, you first start with the manual. Okay, it will give you the confidence, plus it will give you the benefit in your team. So you will be the only one who knows what exactly meaning of each command here. You see the topology, if a green field, and let's see what topology it comes. Yep, this is the topology it's showing here. So we have a 2 leaf switches, 2 spine switches. So if I see the configuration option, yeah, we have this configuration. Topology dictates all the things, right? Now let's do the few basics and import that brownfield configuration, because in the brownfield we have a certain configuration, right, running, and that is also VXLAN here. So let's first understand what is the configuration we have on the brownfield. If I go to the brownfield, the spine switch 1, if I say that so run BGP, let's understand what BGP configuration 65.222. Okay, if I say so L2VPN, so BGP L2VPN EVPN summary, we already have. Okay, so IP, so VRF, we have VRF. We do not have any specific VRF over here. So run. This is the basic configuration which we have. Don't have anything special on this. Okay. If I go on to the leaf switches here, brownfield leaf switch here, if I say that so VRF, I should be having the VRF, which is the red VRF, blue VRF in green field, red VRF in a brown field, right? If I say so IP OSPF neighbor, right? So BGP L2VPN EVPN summary, I should have the detail. Perfect. Yeah. So MAC address. Nothing currently, just layer 3 MAC address is showing here. So interface Ethernet 1/5. This is the configuration which we have. It means if I show the current topology, 1/5 is not been configured here. Okay, any access VLAN. So let's understand how the multi-site will work. First, we will import that existing configuration. Okay, so in order to import that, we will go to the fabric. We're gonna say that I will create another fabric, and that fabric name I will just give this as a, like, for example, brown field something, right? I will say that site 2. I will say that brown field. Okay, I will choose the template, which is the Data Center Classic, right? I will say that AS number 65222. All right, I will say that /31. This is the MAC address, which is fine. I'm not going to do anything. I will just change one thing. I will just go to the replication and change the loopback IP, sorry, 52. Okay, not going to change bidirectional. I'll just keep that ASM, any source specific multicast. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the advanced resources for the IP addressing. Okay, I will say that 22 rather than 2. I will say that PAP address is 222. I will say that 152. Okay, and I will say, because these addresses were already used in different greenfield sites. So this is the template I'm going to have. Then I'm going to see that under the resource only, VRF Lite should have option. Let's see, we are a flight range. So 30,000, 40,000, 9,000. This one is fine. This one is fine. This one is fine. What if I'm going to have we are a flight subnet is 20 dot because 10 dot was there. 20 dot 33 dot 0, which is okay. Just don't want to have anything else. Perfect. I will just simply just say that add the switch now. Okay. Save. Okay, this is the some of the default configuration. If I go brownfield switches, add the switches. I will again add the my switch 201, which is my access switch site 2. Admin C1SCO 12345 exclamation. This time, what I can do here is I will select the preserve the configuration. So I will not delete anything. Okay, then I will say that discover. Add everything. Let's see, it will add into the option. Then we will set the role of this leaf and spine switches. Okay, so one switch will be leaf, one switch will be the spine, and one switch will be the border gateway here. Okay, so let's see. This border gateway is now it's still processing. Once this is done, what we're going to do here is we will extend that VNIs between the data center, and let's see how it works. And also we will configure the external connectivity, which we have not done here is as of now this one 1/3 interface for external. Okay, so let's see if I am able to set. Yep. Border gateway. Cool. Spine switch should be spine. All right. Calculate and deploy. This is very important, you know, when you do any changes, preview and deployment. If you do not do that, you are not pushing the configuration. This is very good actually. During the configuration, for example, you want to do some changes in the network, right? You can, prior to the window, you can create the configuration, you can save the configuration in the template, and when window starts, and within 5 minutes, you can just attach the, the configuration and push that. And remaining time, if there is any issue or troubleshooting, testing, you can use that time for these kind of things, rather than doing all the things in advance during the window. No, you can do it all the templates, everything in advance, and you can just simply attach during the window. That is much better option. So let's see. It is importing all the configuration, including the VRF, which we have, VLAN, everything. So we have a red VRF, okay. Deploy. Close is already deployed. So if I go to the VRF, I should be able to see the red VRF, right? Which is here. If I double click on this red VRF, see here attachment. Okay, in attachment we have see here 2 VNIs. one VNIs. This is the one VNI 2299. This is the layer 3 VNIs. Okay, and which is, if I click on the network, this is the R2 VNI which is created. Okay. Now what we're gonna do here is, this is the 12.1, which is in a green field also, if you notice, 12.1. Okay. And before doing anything else, if I go to the, my brown field and do some basic checks, this is the leaf, this is the spine side too. If I check here, so BGP, L2VPN, EVPN, somebody make sure that after importment, everything is fine. There is no configuration issues. If I go to the, just give me topology. This is the server 3, right? If I go to the server 3, make sure that server 3 is having a right IP address. If config, .11.31, okay. If I go to the leaf here, if I show IP interface brief, VRF all. This is the configuration which we have 12. Okay, but here on the server 3 is 11. Yeah, we'll see that what exactly need to be done. So now the next step is, let's create the L3 external connectivity from the my NDFC. Okay, how the external connectivity? This is the external connectivity. I have a blue VRF over here, right? Which also going to provide the external connectivity on this between the border leaf and external router. Okay, and then we're gonna run the configuration. We will try to redistribute the configuration. We will try to communicate from external. So yeah, let's see how we can do it. So what we're gonna do here is let's go to here, close this everything, close here also. I'm going to add one more fabric and call that external layer 3 fabric, because that device also I want to manage it. I will say that external layer 3 or EXT layer 3. I will choose the fabric. Okay, I will say that external connectivity network. Where is that? External connectivity network. You will see that this is for the core edge deployment. Okay, for Nexus and non-Nexus devices. Suppose if you have ASR and ISR router and you want to deploy this kind of stuff. Before this, if I go to this router, external router, which I have, no, not ISN, this external router, which I have, if I'll say the show run configuration. On this router, we have BGP, LACP sub interface. Okay, we have VRF blue also. We have one 20.1 under the blue VRF, SVI. And yeah, pretty much nothing is running. So what I'm going to have, I'm going to have BGP IS number 33. Then I will say the fabric mode monitor. I will check that, enable it. Then I will say the advanced. We don't have anything to notify resource. Boom, nothing will be not interested into it. Then double click on this and add the switch here. Okay, add the switch. You can select that ASR and other router based on your configuration. I will say that 111. I'll say the admin. Since this is a pure Nexus boxes, I will just configure as a Nexus box. 1 CEO 1 2 3 4 5 exclamation, right? Then I will say that discover the switch here. I will say that accept this, do not select anything else. I will say that add the switch here, because that is the only switch I want to add into my inventory for this fabric. right? Then I will select this device as an edge router, okay? Because this is the device which is providing me the external connectivity. Then I will say that the role, certain roles will be specified for the external connectivity. I say that. Come on, taking a bit time because it is still running the process. Set role. I will say as an edge router. You can have aggregation router, edge router, whatever you want to have it. Okay. Then this is done. I think we can have if I see that role edge router, which is fine. Cool. Then I will select everything. Green field. Double click on this. I make sure that recalculate deployed everything without any issue. It should not have any issue with this. Deploy all. Brown field also, make sure that you calculate nothing is pending on this before the LTE connectivity, because this connectivity is with the green field, not the brown field. Okay. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the green field, because since this router is connecting to the green field, and go under the VRF green field, because this is connecting to the blue VRF here. Okay, blue VRF. I'm going to have certain changes in the blue VRF. So what I'm going to do here, I will see the VRF. Double click on this. I will see the view attachment. Select the blue VRF. Should the border gateway 1 deployed? I will see that. I will see that detach, attach. Attach. This again is so this VRF, blue VRF, I want to extend to the border gateway. Okay. So this is fine here. I will say that where is extend option coming, because if there's no extend option, I cannot do anything. Let's deploy that whatever I have done. Okay, I have done something mistake. What I want to do here is I want to expand blue VRF into the across the data center. Also, in the data center 1, we have a certain configuration, right, sitting over there. So if I go to the green, deploy all, close, it's already deployed. If I double click on this, okay, if I select and edit option, and don't see anything which says that I want to expand it here. I double click on this, I will see that this one, not this one, border leaf. That was my mistake. And the border leaf, what I can do here is I can go here and edit. I will say attach. Then I will say that don't have anything to configure in the CLI. The loop back address details, don't want to have anything, right? Okay. What I can do here is, as of now, I don't see any connection on the border leaf. All right. I will edit again. No, I just want to have a certain, I will go to the switch, okay. Border leaf 1. Double click on the border leaf 1. I will go to the VRF, blue VRF, attachment, blue VRF. I will say the edit. I have done some, this is the option which every time I feel we are doing something wrong. So we are saying that blue VRF, which is fine, 2000 is also fine. We are not doing anything. I want to create the layer 3, deploy all, which is fine. Right, so recalculate deploy. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I will go to the VRF here, then I will go to the attachment, select this border leaf, okay. I will see that edit. Just want to have interface. Why I cannot have interface over here? I will say edit. Do I need to type it manually? It's either detached, attached, which is fine. Deploy. Then what I'm going to do here is, I think I need to go to the interface label, then specify that particular interface under the, so just basic things I'm struggling over here. Border leaf, on the border leaf, I want to configure 1/3 interface, right, to the blue VRF. So if I go to the 1/3 interface, right, edit, right, then I will say that network attachment. No, I just want to have a blue VRF on this. So if I select that, it must be the router interface, right? Or sub interface should be then. So the temporary sub interface dot on external trunk. I want to have a layer 3 interface. Let's see the layer 3 interface. Yeah. No, I want to have a dot on X rather, because yeah, if I go to the dot on X, no. What I want to have routed sub interface. I don't want this one also. Dot on QID I want. Routed host interface. No. This is the one thing. Let's not waste time. I will test this at the last. What I can do here is I can do the ISN first creation. Okay, let's not waste this one. For external connectivity, I will show you this after my one setup. As of now, let's delete this. And what I can do here is I can create the ISN import, because so far, let's do this as a last. So far, this configuration done, this configuration done. What about this configuration? So I will do here is ISN we will import into the NDFC and do that, the setup, and we'll see that how we can achieve the communication between the data center multi-site. Okay, so I will close this. I will say that create the fabric. Okay, then I will say that, for example, ISN. I will pick the template, and in the template, I will say the multi-site network. Okay. So if I say that multi-site external network for the inter-site connectivity, okay, then I will say that 65.4, right? Done. I will not do anything special on this. Then double click on this. I will add the switches, and that switch is my ISN switch. If I go and take a look what is configured on the ISN switch here, okay, and this is the ISN core router. If I say the show IP interface brief, this is the configuration, show CDP neighbor, it must be going to the both the site router. So IP root, this one, VRF all. So run BGP. This is the BGP running in both the site. If this is going towards the site 2, this is the site 1, and this is the local ASN number. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, if I want to check that if there is any underlay configured. So IP, so run BGP, so run OSPF. There's no OSPF, just plain BGP running. Okay. Then I'm going to say here is I'm going to call the admin. CEO 1 2 3 4 5 exclamation. I will say discover. Seed device IP is 151. All right. So once this is done, we will assign this as a device as a core router. So I will say the core attach. Close this page. So you will see that this router, I will set the role. And in the role, what I'm going to say here is I will say the core router. So based on that, it will have its own template. I will say that come on. Core router. Then don't have to do anything here. So after this connectivity, what I can do here is I will close this. Sorry. If I go to the topology, I should be able to see that certain things. Okay, if I go to the core switch here, sorry, core overview topology, see here how it is showing over here. If I go to the configuration, and if I see that all the fabric, if I ISN, double click on the ISN, it will show that what exactly going on. Yeah, look here, saying that this is the core router ISN, and they have two sites, site 1, site 2, which is connecting to each other. Now, once this is the connectivity is done, what we have to do here is now multi-site, because this connectivity basic is done. Now we will show the multi-site setup. Multi-site means to extend that network layer 2, layer 3 network to each other. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create the new fabric. So it's a bit boring. I know it's a greenfield, brownfield, external connectivity, ISN. Then I'm going to create a multi-site network. Okay, what I can do here is multi-site 1. I will select that VXLAN EVPN multi-site template. Okay, for layer 2, layer 3 extension. Now for here, if you see that few parameters are default picking it, which is okay. If I go to the DCI, in the DCI, I will say that direct to BGW. I don't have this. This DCI is connecting to BGW. I have connectivity. Okay, then I will say that multi-site underlay IFC. It means make sure that everything is already there between them. This option. Save this configuration. Okay. Then I double click on this. I will go to the child fabric. In the child fabric, I will say that move fabric into MST. Which fabric you want to move it? I will say the green field first. Okay. Then I will say that the brown field also. So these are the two fabric which I want to extend the connectivity. Okay. Then I will say the recalculate and deploy the configuration. So the moment you will say the recalculate and deploy the configuration, few configuration will be pushed on these devices, BGW devices of the each site. What configuration it will be? Look here, this is the configuration. So we are saying that multi-site border, if you see the NV interface is created on the BGW router, and on this we are saying that this is the multi-site. It means this particular router is responsible for encapsulation and decapsulation both the site. Also, interface going towards the ISN is having a fabric tracking mode option. Okay. Also, I'm going to have a OSPF running on it. Okay. So this is the configuration which will be added into the BGW nodes. Okay. Once it is deployed, we will do some network extension between them. Okay. So once it is
in that case, gateway will be same across the DC.
Yes. So if you see that here, okay, if I close this, you say manage MSD, look here. So on this multi-site template, we have a two childs. Okay, these two sites. And what we're gonna do here is now the time is to open the brown field. Okay. Open the brown field and go to the interface equivalent to Ethernet 1/5. Right. And here I'm going to say that 1/5 interface, which is this one interface. Okay. 1/5 site 2 leaf 1. I'm going to say that access port. Okay. I will say the edit. This set as a access port because I want to extend it. Then save it. And deploy it on the brownfield site. Right. Then I will go to the MSD, which is multi-site here. Okay, I will close this, double click on the MSD one. Okay, I will click on the network. If you see that these are see here, the few configuration, few VRF, you see the blue VRF created in a brown field, green field, red VRF in blue field is already visible over here, right? So what I go to the network here, in the network, I can select that. Just give me a second. All right. So if I go to the okay, the network MST, and these are the two networks we have, total 3 networks, right? If I click on the, for example, network attachment policy, you don't have it over here. So what I can go to VRF, I will say that blue VRF, for example, no, not blue VRF, sorry. Network, for example, this VLAN blue net 1, which is a 2300, I want to extend between the data center. Double click on this. Okay, I will say the network attachment. The network attachment, what I'm going to select here is, I'm going to say that site 2 leaf 1, I want to create, okay. Excuse me. Site 1 BGW I want to create, site 1 BGW I want to extend. So this particular VLAN will be extended from between these 3. On the blue side, green side, if you see that here, this on these switches, we already have a 2300 VLAN, which is part of the blue VRF, blue net 1. So what I'm saying here is this one, I want to extend to here via where? Via the
DCI
border gateway. Yeah. Once it is done, what I'm going to do here is, I will say that edit. Okay, on the edit, what I'm going to do here is, which interface 1/5, I will say that attach 1/5 interface, okay, of the site to spine leaf 2, okay. This is done. I will say the next, I will say that on BGW1, I will say that yeah, we don't have to do anything on this one, I think. Yeah, we don't have to attach anything because this is a very generic one. Attach, yeah, we will attach it, right? Because without attachment, it will not go. Then I will attach this one. I want to extend it, right? And on the interface level, I don't want to edit because this is not specific to the interface, unlike the leaf switch. Save. Same thing I'm going to do for the another VLAN, which is your blue net 2, right? Now before blue net 2, I will just say that deploy. I will say that pending one. I will select all the pending tasks and I will say that deploy. Okay, deploy. Let's see. So it is deploying, getting config defect from the config compliance, which is okay. Deployment is progress. It's obvious that getting that is here deployment into getting config different because both the site does not have the config, right? So it's so obvious that. Now, once this is done, what I'm going to do here is I am going to close this and go to the topology. If I double click on this, sorry, not here, my bad. If I go to the here, topology, and if I double click on the ISN, come on. No, configuration mode. Yeah, look here. So what is showing over here? Saying that between these two BGW, there is the extension. See here. All the details. Now, if I go to the leaf switch now, because the site 1, because if you see that here, server 3, which was created over here, had a 12.x subnet, right? Which was not available over here. It was 11.x. 12.x was here. So since this is a stretch VLAN, I should be able to ping from here to here, right? Now, if I go to the leaf switch now, brownfield, on the brownfield leaf switch, so IP, so VRF first. See here, blue VRF is coming, right? Previously, it was not coming. If you remember that, site 1, site 2 leaf. Look here, what VRF it was there? I think some, let me show. Something was configured, I don't remember. Yeah, it was for sure, it was a red VRF, okay? But if I go to the now on the leaf switch, let me close all the pages first. Site 2 leaf. If I say that so IP interface brief, VRF all, I should be see that 2300 also, which was 11. And if you see that the 2000 VLAN, it also having a forwarding enabled on it. If I go to the here, so run interface VLAN 2000. Sorry, so run interface VLAN 2000 and 2300. So the moment I say that I want to stretch that this VLAN 1, 2 automatically populated over here. And that has only forwarding enabled for layer 3 communication. Now, this is the just layer 3, this one. And this is very good example for migration, right? You can simply migrate the subnet wherever it is sitting without any issue.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the next is I want to have external connectivity, to be honest. Okay. That is the main goal for me, but external connectivity having some sort of trouble. I don't know why for me. Is there, I know this is a bit, too much, but you have to do the practice for this. You have to do the practical for this, all this. Similar way you can do for the blue, net 2 also. So for example, if you want to have, if you have one fabric and extended another fabric, for example, this one. So if I open this one, so IP VLAN, so IP interface brief, VRF all. So we have a 22.999, right? But on the site 1, we do not have that. The site 1 leaf, if I see here, So IP interface brief VRF all. We do not have 2900, right? Yeah. What if I want to be from brownfield, we want to extend 2900, 2999, right? To the site one, leaf one, or leaf one to both. The one thing you will notice here is the IP address is having a conflict between the site one and site two. See here? So you can create, for example, let's try at least, okay? 12 is individual non-stretch VLAN, 12.0 and 11.1 subnet is a stretch VLAN. So if I go to the BlueNet, this one, BlueNet 2, which is deployed in about the site, Greenfield, VRF, I will say the red VRF. Red VRF is not available into the site 2, right? I want to say that on the site 1, leaf 2, BGW. Yeah, I want to deploy it. It is not enabled stretch, that's the reason. If I say that, edit. Now I want to have a stretch just like a blue VRF. Attachment is deployed on the border leaf everywhere. This is fine. What if I say that opposite to it, right? What if I say just give me a second now. Right, so if I go to the here, double click on this, the network, this is already created, BlueNet 2. So I don't think we have any point of extending. Yeah, no pointer because it may create the conflict between them. So if I say that here, site 1, now it is available on all the switches. See here, 1, 2, everywhere. So no point of stretching this because it is going to have a conflict between them. If you want to create new, you can create a new. For example, here create new network. Okay, for example, this is for testing VXLAN site. Okay, which VRF you want to have? You can say that any VRF, blue VRF I want to have because that is a stretch one. This is the IP, and I want to have a gateway, for example, 30.1. Okay, then create. So this is created, right? And let's see where I want to stage is fine. I want to deploy this. When I say that I deploy from the multi-site, one thing I think you have to do here is double click on this. I have to associate these two some interfaces. I will say the attach. Where you want to attach? I want to attach on the border leaf 1 PGA, except the border leaf. Okay. Action, edit. So I will say the attach on the site 1 leaf, which interface 1/6, for example. Okay, Then site 2 border leaf, I say attach, and I will not say where I want to attach. I simply extend it. Simply attach it. I will say that on this one, I will say the 1/6, for example, site 2. Yeah. Save it, and then I will say that deploy the selected one. So if I say that, come on, where's my mouse? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and deploy it. Right. So on both the sides, I should be able to see that this VLAN. What was the VLAN? I have forgot it, to be honest. 2302. Look here. On the site 1 also. Okay, as well as on the site 2 also, I should see that. Yep, here. Okay, if I see that, so VXLAN, so NV peers, for example. So NV peers, right? I will say that, for example, adjacency NV1. Interface, I want to say that VNI, which is also fine. Look here. So this is the recent created one. Did we specify multicast anything? Answer is no. We're just creating the VLAN from the multi-site template, and boom, it is executing everywhere. If I say that, so VRF interface, look here. These has all the belong to where. Okay, if I go to the site 1, you will not have a red VRF. So VRF, you will not have red VRF. What if I want to extend from existing to the red VRF? How are you gonna do that? So simply you go to the green field or not from here. MST1, attach, where you want to create. Let's see, on this VRF, we created where? Border gateway, everywhere, except that ISN, which is irrelevant for us. So I will same to do that. I will say that border gateway, site 1. Yeah, that's it. Greenfield, greenfield, greenfield. No, site 2, no. We don't want to have site 1, want to have everywhere. Deploy. I need to attach it. Just give me a second. Attach. Fine. So this is a pure extend to the multi-site. Okay. Attach. Save. Done. So it will stretch the VRF configuration across the site. Apply. So let's see on the site 1, site 2 both. So VRF. Here we go. If I could show VRF interface. Yep, here we go. We have a red VRF also, this one. So run VRF. So run pipe section VRF. Here we go. A red VRF configuration is also came into the site 2. So I hope this is helpful. Okay. Any question, I would highly prefer you guys to do the practical. If you do not have practical, then you might not gain confidence. Okay. So I'm concluding our NDFC today here. though it's not the conclusion of the NDFC class, okay? Just I wanted to show you this NDFC before I jump into the ACI, okay? Parallel to the ACI, there are some topics which I still need the NDFC for comparison, for troubleshooting and all, okay? So few things will be still there, which you will always find that useful during the class. Okay. All right then, guys, then we'll see you next week with the ACI module. Okay, I know this was boring, but one thing is pending is still external connectivity. I need to check that what I'm doing wrong. Okay, remaining multi-site, VXLAN, import, export, everything you have taken you have discussed over here. So all right then. See you next week then. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you, Vijay.